Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 4. And this week, we're going to talk about arrays and loops. So if we go to the course module here, all the tutorials regarding arrays and loops is being posted. What I would suggest is when you read this tutorial, please make sure that you practice the practice tutorials as well. So if you'll see here, there is a practice document on arrays, which is being posted over here. There is a practice document that you can use for loops. And I would strongly suggest that you go through these documents. The answers are also posted, but before seeing the answer, make sure that you look at the document. So for example, here, so this is the practice about arrays. And if you'll see, you can download this document as well. Okay. Now, what I would suggest is before seeing the answer, please try to do it on your own. Okay. And if you're stuck, or if you want to check whether your answers are correct or incorrect, you can see the answers. Okay. And similarly, the practice set for loops is also being posted. Now, these practice set will help you develop the logic and will help you understand the concepts. Okay. So let's start today's session. As I said, we'll be talking about arrays today. Okay, so what is an array? An array is an ordered collection of values called elements. Each array element is stored in a numeric location called an index, and it is initialized by assigning an array variable with brackets. This tutorial is also being posted. Okay, so what is an array basically? It helps you store more than one value at a place. Okay. So for example, let's say if I'm using a variable. Okay. So if I use a variable, how do we store a value in a variable? Let's say let data equals to 1. Okay. So now I created a variable, but I can store only one value in this variable. Okay. I want to store multiple values in that variable at a one place. So in that case, we make use of arrays. Okay. So for example, internal structure of the array would be something like this. Okay. So if you'll see the internal structure of an array, it would look like this. Okay, something like this. So you can store 1, let's say 2, 3, 4. So I'm storing a number in this array. Okay, so if you have to define an array, the way you define is you write the array name and define it inside the square bracket. Okay, and whatever values you're going to define is going to go inside the square bracket. Let's see it with the coding. Okay, so for example, if I want to create an array whose name is book. Okay, so I'll define this array name. I'll say equals to, and all the values you're going to put it inside the square bracket. Okay, so let's make a book of arrays. Let's put some values there. So let's say maths. Okay, maybe physics, let's say bio, or computer science. Okay, so what did I do? I created an array that contain math, physics, bio, and computer science. So if we look at the structure internally, it will be stored something like this. Let me increase the font size so that you can see it clearly. Okay, so what was it? What was the value? Math, physics, bio or biology, and computer science, right? So it stores the values like this. Now, how do you identify each value of an array? By its index, okay? So what does it mean by index again? So if let's say, okay, index means its placeholder, and the placeholder always starts from 0, okay? the placeholder always starts from 0. So this means that this value inside an array is stored at index 0, right? This value physics is stored at index 1. Biology is stored at index 2 and computer science is stored at index 3. So if I want to print it, I will print, let's say if I want to retrieve the value from the array, it will be the name of the array at index 0. Okay, so if I'll write it like this, it will give me the value maths. If I'll write the name of the array at index 2, this will be equals to biology. Okay, so if you want to retrieve the values from an array, this is how you do it. You provide the value of the index inside a bracket. Okay, so for example, herein, so this is how it looks like, right? So if I want to retrieve the value, I'll say console.log and I'll say book, let's say at index 0. Okay, now so what will it print? It should print math. Okay, now let me create one more file to call this. So new file, and I'm gonna call it as arraydemo.html, and in this okay, it will take some time, I think. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna write the script here. Okay, you can use an external scripting as well, but I'm just, okay, let's do the external scripting. So herein I'm gonna use the script tag, wherein I'm gonna write src equals to, and my JS file name was rr.js, right? Now let's open it with a live server. Okay, and let's open the inspect page and check it on the console. So if you'll see, it has printed the first element of the array, and that was math, right? So it is printed math over here. Okay. So similarly, if you want to see all the elements, so instead of book at index 0, book at index 1, book at index 2, let's try to print it, okay? So what I would say is, here run, let's print it properly. So I'm gonna use the template literal, and I'm gonna say book at index 0, and I'll put book at index 0, right? Similarly, book at index 1, book at index 2, etc. You're gonna do it similarly, right? So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, and herein I'm gonna change 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now let's see. So I'm gonna do Control S here. Okay, that is save, and see here, book at index 0 is math, at index 1 is physics, at index 2 is bio, and at index 3 is computer science, right? So this way you can print the elements in an array. Okay, you can retrieve the elements inside an array. Now there are some common methods, okay, which we usually use with array. So first method is, let's say, I have posted it in the tutorial, okay? So if you'll see here in your tutorial, okay, go down, and these are some ready methods that are available with the arrays and that you can use, okay? So first method is push. What do you provide inside? You provide a value. What does it helps with? It helps with adding a value to the end of the array. Okay, so for example, if I have an array 2, 4, 6, and if I say nums.push 8, it will put the element at the end of an array. Okay, so for example, herein, okay, I will say I have a element, I have the array book. Okay, so I'm gonna say book dot push, okay, and I'll push Spanish. Okay, as the name of the book. And now you can also print it. Let's see if it printed like this, okay? And I'll save it and I'll go here and see the element is pushed at the end. So this is how the element is being added at the end, right? Math, physics, bio, computer science was the original array, and now the Spanish is being pushed inside the array, right? Other than doing this, you could have also printed with an index the way I have printed it over here. We are going to see the more proper way of printing the elements in the array later after learning the loops. Okay, now what is the next method? The next method is pop. What does it do? The pop removes the last array element and returns the element. So what does it do? It will remove the last element and return that element. So for example, if I have this array that is number is equals to 246, and if you say numbers dot pop, if it will remove 6 from it and will return 2 and 4. Okay. Similarly, what is unshift? Unshift adds a value to the beginning of the array. Okay, so if I want to add the value to the beginning of the array, I will use unshift. Shift, what does shift do? Shift removes the first array element and returns the element. Okay, so it will remove the first element from the array. Splice adds or remove elements from anywhere in the array and returns the deleted elements. Okay, we're going to see it with an example and that will make your concepts more clear. So let's see, first one is, what does an unshift says? Adds a value to the beginning of the array. Okay, now we saw that push also adds a value, right? So let me comment it here. Push adds the value at the end, right? Now, what does unshift do? It adds the value in the beginning. Okay, let's see. Okay, so what I would do is book dot unshift. Okay, and let's say let's add another name, another maybe language. So book dot unshift, and I'll use JavaScript. Okay, to my book. Let's try to print it now. So if I'll say console.log and I'll say print book. Okay, that is print the array. Let's see. I saved it and let's see. Now see, it has added JavaScript in the beginning of the array, right? When I did push, it adds to the end of the array. If I did, if instead of push, if I'll do unshift, it will add it at the beginning of the array, right? Now, what does a pop do? Okay, pop will remove an element from the end. So, pop removes an element from the end. Right. So for example, this is book and I write pop. Okay, book.pop, and let's try to print it. Okay, now see what will happen. Again, as I said, it will remove an element from the end, right? And at the end, I think I had Spanish. So it should remove the element from the end. And let me put it properly so that you can see it. So here on, I'm going to say after popping. Okay. You can also print it like this. Okay. Let's see. So I'm do Control S. And I am going to take it there and refresh. Okay. Let's see. I don't think it has executed. Yeah. So see, after popping, it has popped up Spanish from the array, right? Okay. Okay, so that's what pop do.